What if I told you that the mirror hanging in your bedroom right now holds the same power that ancient civilizations used to manifest their deepest desires, communicate with spirits, and even glimpse the future? For thousands of years, mirrors weren't just tools for checking your appearance. They were sacred instruments, mystical portals, and some of the most powerful manifestation tools ever discovered. Today, I'm going to reveal the forgotten mirror manifestation rituals that were practiced by the Greeks, Egyptians, Chinese, and Aztecs. These aren't just historical curiosities. People are still using these exact techniques today to transform their lives, and by the end of this video, you'll understand why mirrors might be the most underrated manifestation tool you already own. But first, let me blow your mind with something most people don't realize. Every time you look in a mirror, you're not just seeing your reflection. According to ancient wisdom traditions, you're looking through a doorway between dimensions, a portal where the physical and spiritual worlds meet. The ancients understood something we've forgotten. Mirrors don't just reflect light, they reflect energy, intention, and consciousness itself. Think about it. When you stand in front of a mirror, you're seeing yourself from outside yourself. You're observing your own existence from a perspective that shouldn't be possible. Ancient mystics believed this impossible perspective was where magic happened, where you could literally reprogram reality by working with your reflection. Let's start with the Aztecs, who carved mirrors from volcanic obsidian and placed them in their most sacred temples. These weren't decorative pieces, they were divine communication devices. Aztec priests would gaze into these dark, polished surfaces for hours, entering trance states where they claimed to receive visions from the gods. They called this practice Tezcatlipoca, named after their god of mirrors and night, and they used it to make crucial decisions about war, agriculture, and the future of their empire. But the Aztecs weren't alone. In ancient Greece, a practice called catoptromancy was so powerful and so feared that it was often banned by authorities. Greek oracles would stare into polished bronze mirrors, usually by candlelight, until their normal consciousness dissolved and prophetic visions began to appear in the reflection. They believed the mirror acted as a window into the realm of the gods, where past, present, and future existed simultaneously. The ancient Chinese took mirror magic in a completely different direction. They discovered that mirrors charged under moonlight became incredibly powerful tools for manifestation. Chinese sages would place bronze mirrors outside during the full moon, allowing them to absorb what they called yin energy, the receptive, creative force of the universe. They would then use these moon-charged mirrors in rituals to attract love, prosperity, and spiritual insight. Now let me teach you the 5 most powerful mirror manifestation techniques that these ancient civilizations developed. But I need to warn you, these aren't just interesting historical practices. When you understand how to use them properly, they can fundamentally change your relationship with reality. The first technique is mirror scrying, also known as catoptromancy. This is probably the most famous mirror technique, and it's incredibly simple but profoundly powerful. You take a dark mirror, obsidian if you can find it, or even just a regular mirror in a dimly lit room. You gaze softly into the surface, not trying to see anything specific, just allowing your eyes to relax and your mind to become still. Here's what the ancients understood that we've forgotten. When you stare into a dark mirror long enough, your normal brain patterns begin to shift. You enter what neuroscientists now call an altered state of consciousness, where your subconscious mind becomes more accessible and your intuition heightens dramatically. Ancient practitioners reported receiving visions, insights about the future, and guidance for major life decisions. The second technique is the 2-mirror gateway, and this one will absolutely blow your mind. You position 2 mirrors facing each other, creating an infinite corridor of reflections. Then you sit between them and focus on your intention while looking into this endless tunnel of light. The ancient belief was that infinite reflections create infinite possibilities, and your intention gets amplified exponentially with each reflection. Modern quantum physicists are starting to understand why this might actually work. The infinite reflections create what's called a quantum field of possibility. where your consciousness interacts with multiple dimensions of reality simultaneously. People who practice this technique report manifesting things with shocking speed and precision. The third technique is moonlight charging, and the Chinese masters considered this one of their most closely guarded secrets. You place a mirror outside during the full moon, allowing it to absorb the lunar energy for the entire night. The next morning, you use this charged mirror for your manifestation work, speaking your intentions directly to your reflection. The science behind this is fascinating. Moonlight has a different electromagnetic frequency than sunlight, and mirrors are surprisingly sensitive to electromagnetic fields. When you charge a mirror under moonlight, you're essentially programming it with the moon's energy signature, which ancient traditions associated with intuition, emotion, and the subconscious mind. The fourth technique combines water with mirror energy, creating what ancient Egyptian priests called the double reflection. You place a bowl of still water in front of a mirror so you can see both your direct reflection and your reflection in the water simultaneously. This creates a layered effect where you're working with your reflection on multiple levels of reality at once. The Egyptians believed water was the element of emotion and flow, while mirrors represented clarity and manifestation. When you combine them, you're working with both the emotional and mental aspects of creation simultaneously. This technique is particularly powerful for manifesting relationships and emotional healing. The fifth and most accessible technique is mirror affirmations, but not the way most people think about them. Instead of just repeating positive statements to your reflection, you enter into an actual conversation with the person in the mirror. You speak to them as if they're a separate being who has the power to make your desires reality. This might sound strange, but there's profound psychology behind it. When you speak to your reflection as a separate entity, you're accessing parts of your subconscious mind that normally remain hidden. You're also creating a powerful feedback loop where your words, your image, and your intention all reinforce each other simultaneously. Now you might be wondering, why mirrors? What makes them so special for manifestation work? Ancient wisdom traditions understood mirrors as doorways between worlds, thresholds where the physical and spiritual realms intersect. When you look in a mirror, you're seeing yourself from an impossible perspective, observing your own existence from outside yourself. This creates what mystics call the witness consciousness, a state of awareness that's more powerful than ordinary thinking mind. Mirrors also create perfect symmetry, and symmetry is one of the fundamental organizing principles of the universe. From the spiral of galaxies to the structure of DNA, nature uses symmetrical patterns to create and maintain reality. When you work with mirrors, you're aligning yourself with these natural creative forces. But perhaps most importantly, mirrors reflect not just your image, but your energy, your intention, and your consciousness itself. Every thought, every emotion, every intention you bring to a mirror gets reflected back to you, amplified and intensified. This creates a powerful feedback loop that can literally reprogram your subconscious mind and your relationship with reality. If you want to try these techniques yourself, start simple. Choose one method that resonates with you most strongly. Maybe it's the mirror affirmations if you're just beginning, or maybe you're drawn to the mystery of mirror scrying. Whatever you choose, commit to practicing it consistently for 21 days minimum, though 41 days is traditional for deeper transformation. Here's the most important part. Approach these practices with respect and clear intention. These aren't party tricks or entertainment. They're sacred technologies that have been used for thousands of years to create real change in people's lives. Set up your space mindfully, clarify your intentions before you begin, and be prepared for results that might surprise you. Remember, the ancients didn't separate the spiritual from the practical. They used these techniques to manifest everything from successful harvests to victory in battle, from healing illness to finding their life purpose. These aren't just mystical practices, they're tools for creating the life you actually want to live. So the next time you look into a mirror, remember that you're not just seeing your reflection. You're looking through a doorway to possibility, a portal where intention meets manifestation, where the ancient meets the modern. You're seeing yourself from the perspective of infinite potential, and that perspective has the power to change everything. What you're looking at in that mirror isn't just who you are, it's who you could become. And with these ancient techniques, the person staring back at you just might have the power to make it happen. Which of these mirror techniques intrigues you the most? Are you brave enough to try mirror scrying, or does the two-mirror gateway call to your soul? Drop a comment below and let me know which ancient practice you're going to experiment with. If this video opened your eyes to the hidden power you've been carrying in your home this whole time, smash that like button and subscribe because we're diving deep into the forgotten wisdom that modern world desperately needs to remember. Hit that notification bell because I guarantee you don't want to miss what sacred practice we're uncovering next. Your reflection is waiting to show you what's possible.